Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade math. You can find all the lessons on eplustudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter coordinate name. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. And I'm on grade math. The chapter we're on right now is coordinate plane. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is quadrant and axis. Which points is in quadrant one? The first thing we need to understand is what are the quadrants? So that is the origin. This is the x quadrant, x axis, and this is the y axis. Here is the origin, 0 on the right hand side, you have all the positive values, and on the left side, you have all the negative values. Same way above the origin, you have all the positive values, and below the origin, you have all the negative values. So this is the first quadrant here, x values are positive and y values are positive. Here is the second quadrant. In the second quadrant, y is, we have x positive here. You can see here is the x-axis, all positive values, and y-axis have also positive values. Then in the second quadrant, you have x negative values and y values are positive. Okay, this is the third quadrant. You have x negative and y value. All the x and y values are negative here. And in fourth quadrant, you have x positive values and y negative values. So the question is, which point is in quadrant one? So here is the quadrant one, and in quadrant one, you have the point B. Got it? Let's just start with the test questions. Which point is in quadrant 1? Here is the quadrant 1. So in quadrant 1, the point I is here. In first quadrant, the point is I. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which quadrant is the point B in? Here is the point B. Which quadrant it is? This is the first quadrant. This is quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. So point B is in the quadrant 4. Point B is in the quadrant 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which quadrant is the point L in? Point L is in quadrant 3. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is quadrant 3. Which point is in quadrant? Point H is in quadrant 1. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is H. Which point is in quadrant 4? Point G is in the quadrant 4. The correct option is G. Which quadrant is point B in? Point E in? Point E is in the quadrant 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Point E is in quadrant 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself here today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is coordinate plane review. What are the coordinates of the point W? So here is the point W. Any point on the coordinate is formed by a horizontal number called on the x-axis and a vertical number called the y-axis, right? So here is the point W. The x-coordinate point W is -2 and the y-coordinate of the point W is -3. So the coordinates of the ordered pair, that is an ordered pair x and y, and together they make the, basically the ordered pair tells you the location of a point on the coordinate plane. So the location of the point W on the coordinate plane is -2 and -3. Let's just start with the test questions. What are the coordinates of point A? Point A is on the x-axis. When we have a point on the either x-axis or y-axis, like point A is on the x-axis, the y-coordinate is 0. Only the x-coordinate has the value 4. So the coordinates of the point A are 4 and 0 because the x value is 4, but the y value is 0. Option number 1 is the correct option, 4 and 0 it is. Which point has the coordinates 0 and -1? X is 0, y is -1. So here it is. Point R has the coordinates 0 and -1. Option number 2 is the correct option. What are the coordinates of the point P, which is the correct option? Point P is on the x-axis, so y coordinate is 0. The coordinates are 1 and 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which point has coordinate 5 and 4? X is 5 and y is 4, which is the correct option. You can see here point F has the coordinates 5 and 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. What are the coordinates of point P? The coordinates are 1 and 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. What are the coordinates of point P? Here is the point P. So the x coordinate of the point T is 5. The y coordinate of the point T is -3. So 5 and -3, option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is follow directions on a coordinate plane. Let's just start with the lesson. You start at 0, 3. You moved up 5 units. Where do you end? 0, 3. X is 0, y is 3. You moved up 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 0 and 8. So you end at 0, 8. So the coordinates you end at 0, 8. Let's just start with the test questions. You start at 210. X is 2, y is 10. So here is the point 210. You move left 2 points. 1, 2, left 2 units. So you end up at 0, 10. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. 0, 10 it is. You start at 5, 1. You move up 6 units and down 3 units. Where do you end? 5, 1, 5 and 1. Here it is. You move up 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And down 3 units. 1, 2, 3. So you end up on 5, 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. 5, 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. Start at 6, 6. You move 3 units. You move up 3 units and down 7 units. Where do you end? 6, 6. X is 6. Y is 6. Here is the point you started with. You move up 3 units. 1, 2, 3, and down 7 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you end up on 6 and 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. You start at 1, 2. Move right 7 units. That is 8, 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. You start at 0, 5. Zero, 5. You move right 3 units. 1, 2, 3. And up 2 units. Right 3 units. And up 2 units. You end up on 3, 7. Option number 2 is the correct option. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3, 7 it is. You start at 1, 0. You move to 1 unit left. So you end up on 0, 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 0, 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. You start at 3, 2. You move down 1 unit. Where do you end? That is 3, 1. Option number 1 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself. We'll just move on to next lesson. That is find the distance between two points. Find the distance between the point 3, -5 and -9, -5. So the difference between the 2 points is they have the same y coordinate. -9 plus 3 is -6. The y coordinate is -5 for both the points, that is same. So just calculate the distance between the x points, that is -9, -3. That equals -12, but the distance is always positive. The distance between the 2 points is 12 units. Option number 1 is the correct option. 12 units it is. Find the distance between the points 5, -7 and 5, 7. 7 minus negative 7. That is 7 plus 7 equals 14. Option number 1 is the correct option, that is 14 units. Option number 1 is the correct option, 14 units it is. Find the distance between the points 2, negative 7, 7, negative 7. That is 5 units. Option number 2 is the correct option. Find the distance between the points negative 4, negative 2, and negative 4 and negative 10. Eight units. Option number 2 is the correct option. The distance between the points 10, 7, and 10, 1. That is 6 units. Option number 1 is the correct option. Find the distance between the points 3, 3, and 10, 3. Seven units it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. Find the distance between the points 1, 6 and 10, 6. That is 9 units. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 8 math. The chapter we're working on is coordinate plane. The lessons we have covered today are quadrant and axis, coordinate plane review, follow directions on a coordinate plane, find the distance between 2 points. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lesson you just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or I think you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusion if you have any. Any questions? No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.